I think it's very important when you're working with children with autism that you keep in mind that almost all children with autism are going to have difficulties in the area of social development, in the area of behavior management, and in the area of communication. One of my favorite tips for communication is what I call the Itsy Bitsy Spider Award. I take an itsy bitsy spider, I make a freezer magnet, and we send it home with the child so the parent will know exactly what that child was working on that day. For example, Sharon got the Itsy Bitsy Spider Award today for trying to. And I think another wonderful tip, especially when it comes to behavior, is that you teach children that in order to respect the space of others, that you can do things that are fun. Maybe you put a hula hoop, maybe you talk about not being a space invader, but you teach children that the value of communication comes from that interaction, and children with autism spectrum disorder are certainly going to require a lot more modeling by the teacher. And finally, I think when working with any children with special needs, but especially those with autism, is to remember that each child is unique and will come to you with a set of characteristics that may or may not be like others with autism. So I think as long as we form a strong school and home partnership, and that we keep in mind that all children can learn, that children with autism can and do very well in blended settings with their peers. I think, again, it's very important that as we adapt lessons, that we keep in mind that generally, even children with special needs are more like their typically developing peers than they are different from those peers. I think as I was looking at these lessons, I tried to identify aspects where adaptations or where a simple change in what was written might make a child feel more included in a setting. For example, one of my favorite adaptations is to get simple sponge hair rollers like you'd give yourself a permanent with. Take the inside out, and then you have a wonderful, inexpensive adaptation that it could be a pencil grip or could be used on a paintbrush so that a child could participate. As I looked at each of these lessons and I tried to decide, exactly what needed an adaptation, I tried to put myself in the place of the child and make sure that whatever we did, it encouraged inclusion, it encouraged children to interact with each other, and then it also encouraged teachers to develop an attitude that inclusion is not about a product, it's a process that we use for all children.